What's going on, Mike?
Not much. How you doing, Edward?
I'm doing great. First of all, happy Halloween, dude.
Yeah, you too, man. I love Halloween. It's so much fun.
I know. So we did not coordinate today, but I think we have the same hairdresser for some strange reason. Must be a bald guy thing.
No, this is all natural. This is all natural. This is how I look every day.
Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't mean to call you out like that.
It's all good. Yeah, man. So, have you already eaten any Halloween candy, or are you waiting until later?
I'm waiting for later. We have littles, so we're doing the thing with the kids going through the neighborhood trick or treating. Of course, I'm not trick or treating. I'm chaperoning. And then I'll be the candy inspector collecting the dad tax. I mean,
Nice.
dad's got to do what a dad's got to do.
Yeah, candy inspector. That's a clear role. You got to make sure the quality's there. That's great.
All
So,
right, so I'm taking care of some housekeeping stuff on my side, but you can go ahead and start us off, and then we'll go through today's session.
yeah, sure. So, you know me, I've got like 10 years experience as a software engineer, and I kind of pivoted into digital marketing about 6 years ago. And I've been really interested in SEO and working with SEO specialists and trying to create really great campaigns for my clients. So, typically people wonder like who should do SEO, and pretty much any business that wants to drive traffic to their website, they would have a really good shot at doing SEO and getting good results. So like, so the focus is there, and then I don't know. I mean, so Edward, do you know the term local SEO? Is that something you've come across?
Yeah, a lot of people hear about the term local SEO, but for most people, it doesn't really mean much. It doesn't mean you stand in front of your store saying, here's a sign. This is where you buy from my business. So we could
Yeah.
definitely chat about that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I did a quick Google search, and basically near me is really popular. I don't know if people really understand how much that search happens, and so I read that 82% of shoppers have done a near me search, which is pretty incredible. That's like a huge amount, and 46% of Google searches are for local business. So there's like a huge chunk of people, a huge opportunity for businesses to do local SEO and try and attract these people to their website.
Okay, I got that.
So yeah. So let's see. So the other day you asked me about keyword research. You're kind of wondering like what is it? I know you know what it is, but like maybe you could explain it. And so part of SEO is understanding what people are searching for. Like how are they going to find my business through search? And so keyword research basically identifies the terms people are looking for, and then you should add those terms to your website so that you drive traffic. And so basically, there are lots of different ways to do keyword research. There's something called the Google Keyword Planning Tool, which is part of Google Ads, and it's a way to do your keyword research. You're basically looking at these search terms and determining, how many people are using the term to search for, what's your search volume, basically, and how difficult is it to rank for these keywords.
So I,
And
so quick question. Let's take a couple of steps back. So we're like going into high tech mode, and I love you for that because the high tech mode is where it's at. But in terms of the people that are dialing in right now or checking us out right now, um, let's start with some basic questions like what is SEO and why do I actually need SEO for my business?
sure, yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah, let's start at high level. So basically, you've got digital marketing, right? And so there's traditional marketing, like billboard ads, bus signs, physical newspaper ads, magazine ads. So that's all traditional marketing. But now we've got all these cool digital marketing channels like SEO, Google Ads, social media, email marketing. So SEO is part of digital marketing. And the great thing about it is that it's very measurable. Like you can actually track your results with digital marketing. Whereas with traditional marketing, it's harder to do that. You can't really get exactly the numbers for how well things are working. It's more of a feel for it. So SEO is really good for driving traffic to your website, and so are the other digital marketing channels that I mentioned. And so really what you're looking for with SEO is to get people to your website and then take the desired action that you want them to take. So that could be making a purchase or calling you or filling out a contact form. And so SEO is a really great way to drive people to your website and have them convert the way you want them to.
Okay. So is it for every business?
Well, it depends. It depends on the business. It depends on your website also. If you want to do SEO, you need to have a website that's going to convert users. People who get there, they're going to do what you want. And if your website's not really set up for that, it can be a challenge. So you need to work on that first before doing SEO. But yes, startup companies, small business owners, anyone can really do SEO. It just depends on the fit with your budget and with how competitive your market is for that industry.
Okay, so I guess we can jump into some basics that we can do for SEO. We're just starting out. We have a business that's just starting out. Someone says SEO and their eyes just glaze over. What are a couple of things that a startup business or a business just getting their foot into SEO, what are some things that they can look into?
Yeah. I mean, there's a great thing called the Google Business Profile. And if you are a brick and mortar store, pretty much anything that's not solely online e-commerce, you can create your own business profile. And it's awesome. And that's great for local SEO. Your listing will show up for people in your area. And so all you have to do is go to the profile site, enter your information. And it seems really obvious, but there's something called NAP, which stands for name, address, and phone number. And, it seems really basic, but you just need to make sure that's correct, not just in your Google Business Profile, but also across all the directories that have your information. Just make sure you get that right, or else customers are going to get really annoyed because they're trying to find you. They're saying, take my money, but they can't actually get to you. So when you do the Google Business Profile, make sure everything is accurate and in place, but it's totally free to do. You can add information about your company, you can add photos, and even you can post on there just the way you could on social media. And some people have found good results doing that as well. So that's one of the first basic things you can do. Typically with an SEO campaign, the first thing you would do after that would be to connect your website to Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Have you used those tools?
Google Analytics? I've used those tools. So we use them pretty regularly in the website builds. But I think it'd be worth just talking about those products that Google has.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, again, digital marketing, right? It's all about measuring success. And so Google Analytics and Search Console to some degree are really great ways to do that. And both these tools, Google Analytics and Google Search Console, are free to use. And they're relatively simple to set up. You just add tracking code to your website. And so Google Analytics went through kind of big change back in July. And they basically switched from one version that was called Universal Analytics, and they switched to something called GA4, Google Analytics 4. And for all of my customers who are doing analytics or using Google Analytics, they had to do this transfer from one platform to the other. And now the old platform isn't collecting any data anymore. So it was a really big jump, and it caused some issues throughout the digital marketing arena. But basically, GA4 has a different way of looking at data. It has a different way of representing users on that come to your website. So it's really powerful. You get real-time information about who's on your site and what they're doing. You get to look at where people are coming from by region and city. So anyway, Google Analytics is a great free tool. Definitely set it up right when you get your website up and running. And I highly recommend that for your SEO campaign.
Okay, so number one we have is the Google Business Profile. So that's when everyone says, let me look up your business on Google. That's what has your reviews and your address and some pictures of your products and services.
Yeah.
Okay, the second thing that you're telling us is that we need to also track people that come to our website. So you're telling us we need to set up some sort of tracking, which Google has a tool called Google Analytics.
Yes. Yep. Perfect.
All right, cool. All right, what else? What else do we need to do?
Oh, well, sorry. I want to look back because you mentioned something about Google Business Profile and about how there are reviews on there.
Yes.
And so once you have your profile, it should be like your competitive nature to get as many 5-star reviews as you can get, right? You want to go after it and be like, I want to get like 25-star reviews, because those really show like how legitimate your business is, and people see those and they know exactly what that means. So really, and it's pretty easy to collect testimonials or reviews. Basically, in the platform, in the Google Business Profile platform, there's a link that you can get, and you give that link to your customers. You say, hey, give me a 5-star review on Google, and they'll basically go there and give you a review. And keep in mind, the Google Business Profile is really connected to Google Maps also. So when you create your profile, your business is going to show up in Google Maps if it isn't there already. And that's really important also for people to find you.
Okay, so question. So some of these startup businesses out there, they don't have a physical address. They may have their home address. They may have a PO box or a community address, like they're in a co-working environment. Does that still work for those type of businesses?
Well, it's kind of case by case, but like if you're an online only business, you can't get a profile. But everyone else might find some workarounds to it. Like if you have a PO box or if you have a work address, there are ways to do that. I think that, no one really wants to use their home address for their business. So, in that situation,
I think I've looked up a couple of businesses, and I say to myself, it's like, is that someone's house? Did they not update the Google Maps? But actually someone did put their home address in some of those scenarios.
Yeah, and ideally you'd find a way around that. But yeah, for the most part, having a brick and mortar location, having an office is really the way to go. I don't know exactly how it would work in like a co-working space, so you might not be able to get a dual listing at the same address as other companies. But if you have like a suite or some sort of like address modification that you can use, you should be able to get the business profile for that location.
Okay.
But yeah, it can be tricky setting that up if and if you're an online only business, it might be disappointing, but they don't allow that.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that, because there's businesses that start up in that online space. It could be someone making this jump. So like right now we're in that phase where people are working remote, and they say, you know what, I'm going to start this side hustle up. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to register the EIN and make it a formal business, but they don't have a physical location. And they could do anything from human resources all the way to selling pottery or doing consultations and counseling. So there's like a broad range of businesses out there. So I was just asking in terms of that perspective for those types of businesses.
Yeah, it's a challenge because you might be able to get it working using a PO box, but I wouldn't guarantee it. But yeah, I mean, it's tough for people who have their home office or they're trying to do something without an office to get these listings. But I think it is possible. It's just you have to kind of.
So if we can't get these listings, does that mean we can't SEO?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. This is just the tip of the iceberg, really.
Okay.
Yeah. But no. So SEO, it goes way beyond just the profile. Once you get the analytics set up, what you should do is do the keyword research that we talked about, and then there's like a big
What's keyword research?
Oh, sorry. So like if you do like use the Google Keyword Planner again, and if you use that to find the keywords that you're looking for your website, that's like a good start because you'll know what keywords to add to your content. But basically, there are these SEO tools that we use called that like SEMrush, SEMrush, Moz, and other tools that you can do what's called a website audit. And basically, so you have your new website, it's been built, it's great, but a lot of times no one's really done any SEO work while they build it. It's usually two separate things, right? You don't get an SEO site until after you launch. You don't get to work on your SEO until after you launch. So what we do is we do like an SEO audit using one of those tools. And then we get like a whole list of things that we can work on or optimize on the site. So without getting too technical, that could include like, and these seem random, but this is how Google ranks websites. It looks at these different factors and it tells you like what's scoring well and what isn't. So like, it could be really random. It could be like, do you have a sitemap file? Do you have a robots.txt file? Are there 404 things that should get fixed? Do you have even like links to your social media profiles? A whole range of different things. You know, is there metadata? Do you have an SSL certificate? There's like a laundry list of things that you can improve upon just to get going. And some of these are really one-time only things that you have to do just upfront. So you do the audit, you get all this feedback, you start working on fixing these technical items. And then basically after that, you're getting into the content optimization part of the SEO campaign.
Okay.
And so like you got a page, a great blog. Let's say you wrote this article, you know, about why Halloween is the best holiday. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, we should make sure it has the keyword that we want it to rank for in there. The keyword density should be in place. Do we have do we have internal linking? You know, do we have an alt tag for our image? And just anything we can do, you know, can we improve the readability? You know, meta title, meta description, are they the right length? Do they use the keyword? So anyway, this on-page optimization and then content creation after that is sort of most of the SEO work. And so working with a copywriter, or if you're a business owner and you want to write your own copy or create your own content, that's great too. But then it sort of turns into this machine where you're churning out a lot of content and that's driving traffic to the website.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, I think there's you kind of touched on it, but I think there's a very important part, even in terms of the content creation that you were mentioning, and that is from the web side. There's two different sides. So one, in terms of SEO, is the actual structure of your website. How is it laid out? How are the pages laid out? How many pages you have? Do you have that home, about, contact us? And then is it laid out like I call it like a paragraph or essay, but basically if you to look at the big bolded text, you'd have a title, then you'd have a subtitle, and then you have a paragraph, and then you have another title and a paragraph. So that's laid out in a particular order or sequence. So that's one thing that we do from the web build. But then also, like you were mentioning, is the actual content that's in the site. So what is the website about? What articles are you writing, and are those articles relevant to your brand? And you mentioned like the keywords. Those would be some things that we would either use in our build, or you would use as part of that content building, getting that content writer to build out that content library.
Yeah, definitely. That's why like doing the keyword research early on is really good, because you can know what you're going to focus on when you're writing the content, whether it's the first time you do it or, you know, when you go back and do the optimizations. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely like an ongoing process. But what you're saying about the pages having like the right H1 and then like H2s and H3s, like that's important also. So something I mentioned to people who have WordPress websites is a tool called Yoast. It's a free plugin. And basically you can go into your articles in WordPress or your pages or posts, and you can like in real time optimize the page, and it shows you like green, yellow, red, like street signs, like telling you how well you're doing optimizing that page. It's a little
the red being danger, close. Yellow is like, yeah, I don't know. And green is like, yes, you did it. Home run.
Exactly. And people get excited about it too. They're like, I got a green, like, so yeah. And so I just recommend that, because some people can actually do pretty well. Again, though, you should have your keywords ready to go when you do that, so you know how to modify the page the right way.
Okay. That sounds like good stuff. So we got the Google Maps setup / Google business page. We have Google Analytics. Now we have a layout on our site. What else do we need for
to keep you going.
SEO?
Yeah. So like I said, there's some kind of expensive tools out there like SEMrush and Moz. But basically, you want to make sure that you're keeping track of your conversions. And conversion tracking is something you can set up in Google Analytics. And each month you're going to look at your data, do like a report and
All
show.
right, what's a conversion?
Oh yeah, sure. No, it's a good question. So like conversions are also known as goals or conversion goals. And basically it's like the desired action you want someone to take on your website or maybe depending on your channel, what your goal is. So like let's say I'm selling, I'm a store online, I've got a shopping cart, and I want people to purchase something. So like they'll go through the shopping process, they'll go through the cart, they'll get to the checkout page, and then they'll click on purchase. And so each purchase is a conversion. And we can say, okay, we spent like this amount of money on SEO this month, and we got 10 conversions. So we know now what the cost per conversion.
10 purchases. What you're saying, a conversion is a purchase.
Yeah. Also, though, the cool thing is that a conversion could be like someone just getting to the shopping cart could be a conversion. Someone, filling out a form, requesting information could be a conversion. Someone clicking on a click to call link could be a conversion. So these are just all the different goals that you want to track. But they do help you understand your return on investment by saying, if you can determine what channel these people are coming from, you can say, okay, they did this so many times and we spent this amount of money to get that. So it costs, $5 per conversion, and we're selling something that's $50. So that's awesome. Like we're making money. So that's sort of how conversions are thought of.
Okay, that's good stuff. So conversions is making money, or downloading my free guide to health and wellness in 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I guess in our case, our guy's guide to Halloween wigs.
Right.
Which we don't have a PDF for that, but maybe we should have put one together. Maybe next time we'll do that. We'll put that guide together.
Yeah, that sounds good. We guide. That's awesome. I'm getting like 90s. I'm getting like 90s rock vibes from you. Is that where that was going from?
Yeah, I just need my guitar. I'm with the band, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I was gonna do the face paint, but I thought that was a bit overkill. So I was like, I'll just do the outfit and call it a day.
I dare you to wear that all day.
Actually, today of all days, I can actually probably get away with it, especially being down here in Houston. I can I can get away with this.
You can do it.
At least today. Tomorrow, that's a new day.
Awesome. So you actually said something to me the other day. I don't know if you want to, we can skip it, but I asked you a question about Google ads, which we haven't really talked about today.
Right.
But we were talking about like how the difference between SEO and Google ads. And I don't know if you want to talk about it, but you had a really interesting kind of metaphor for the difference between the two.
Yeah, I kind of equate it to when I'm explaining it to people, going out to a fancy restaurant or a new nightclub, and maybe that analogy is not for everybody, but essentially there's this popular place that everybody wants to get in. That's the big thing, and there's a line outside. That's everybody trying to get into this place, and there's a doorman's, aka the bouncers at the club. So you can eventually make it up to the front of the line, if ever. I mean, sometimes the line could be so long, but you see these people passing up to the front of the line, and there's two types of people going up to the front of the line. There's one person that slides the bouncer, $100 bill. It's like, hey, gives him the special handshake, and then he walks right in. And I equate that to Google Ads, and that's going to get you to the front of the crowd. And if you look at the Google page when you're searching for something, the very first 3 to 6 items that you see on the list are going to say ad next to it. So next time you look at it, it's going to say ad. And you know this already, but I'm saying that to people on the call. And then is everybody else that would fall under this under the SEO category after that. So Google Ads is always going to put you to the front of the line. That second type of person that goes to the front of the line, he may have a relationship with someone at the establishment, maybe the bouncer, maybe somebody inside, but he knows somebody in there. And so he walks up to the guy and say, hey, what's up, Mr. Bouncer? And he says, hey, what's up, Edward? How's it going? How's the family? How's the wife and kids? And then he's like, you want to go in tonight? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how many people you got? I tell him how many people I got. We go inside the establishment. That I would liken to SEO. And the reason why I would liken that to SEO, because it takes time to develop a relationship with somebody. I may know that bouncer at our kids may go to the same school. I may know him from a past job. I may know him from just riding public transportation together or shopping in a grocery store. But I happen to see him over and over again, and that breeds some type of relationship and some familiarity. Blah 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 blah.
I love that. I love that.
And so I get in, and so I think you had a good point to this analogy. So that's what I would call SEO.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the guy who cuts the line and pays the money, like once he has no money for Google Ads, like he's not going to get in the club, right? Like they're like, no way. Like,
right. Like, yo, where's $100, dude?
Yeah, exactly. So, but both are legitimate, right? I mean, both are fine. And you can, I don't know how to extend that to saying that you can do both, but you can if you need to. Maybe your friend your organic friend who just lets you in because you guys have a relationship, maybe he's not there one night, right? And so you have to go to the bouncer who doesn't know you. He's like, okay, fine, take $100 to let us in, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
Both, right? So yeah, but I love that. I love that you came up with that. That's so good.
Yeah, and the other part, the people that standing in the line. Remember, the clubs have a maximum capacity, or restaurant, how many people they can serve at one time, and so there may be somebody in that line that never makes it to the front of the line because all the people with the SEO and the ads are filling up those seats in that establishment, so they never get to make it to the front of the line. So you have to participate some way. Some people get lucky and they get to make it to the front of the line. But if you're lesser on the totem pole, if you don't know anybody, if you got to the party kind of late, then chances are you're not going to get in that night, and they're going to be like, sorry, folks, clubs at capacity or restaurants at capacity, or we're seeing the last guest. See you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, so page 2, page 3 of search results, right? The back of that line, no one's going to help them. A lot of time, like no one even sees them really. Like, are they even there? I mean, I don't know. But yeah.
I have seen something new in terms of the Google page design, and I don't know when they did this update, but they did a infinite scroll update on the search page. So if you actually do a search on Google, there's in some instances there's an infinite scroll, and so the page 1 and page 2 scenario doesn't necessarily exist any longer. Have you seen that or noticed that?
I haven't noticed it yet. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Like the psychology of how people behave with search results. Like a huge percentage of people click in like the top 1, 2, and 3, and they don't bother to look farther down. So like there's such a huge difference between page 2 and even like middle page one and then the top, like there's a huge drop off in engagement. So for anyone who's doing SEO or digital marketing, keep in mind that people are just going to do this basic thing where they just click on the first thing that they see.
Yeah, and I think one thing that, even like in terms of this conversation, I'm thinking about it from a desktop, because right now we're on this stream, we're sitting at computers, but the reality is a lot of times people are on their phones. They're living their life. They may be at work and they can't look up stuff on the computer at work, and so they swipe it through on their phones. And there's only so much real estate on the phone, so it's like that first or second thing. It's like, all right, click it, found a plumber. Click it, found a wedding planner. Click it, found a. It's like that part becomes critically important, especially when you start talking about mobile devices.
Yeah, I think even like, this is kind of a guess, but I would say, like low literacy computer users, people who aren't that comfortable with it, maybe they're older, they just don't have a lot of exposure to it. I think even people in that range are starting to understand the difference between ads and organic results. And which means that people are maybe less inclined to click on an ad because they know it's an ad. But at the same time, if you have an impression for your brand in the ads and then you're in the top 3 results, that actually really makes a big difference. That can create a click where there wouldn't have been normally when you do both ads and SEO. But yeah, I mean, some people don't do
to add on to that, and I think me being in IT for forever, using computers day in, day out, I didn't lose, but my driver's license got damaged, and I had to get a new driver's license. And I searched up DMV, and I click on the link. I'm thinking it's the DMV site because the site, it looked legit in terms of like the placement on Google search. And I'm starting to fill out the form, and I'm like, why do they keep on asking for payment, throughout the site? And this payment price seems to be very high. Anyway, it's like the ad was positioned such that it looked like a legit organic search for a government entity, and the reason why it was showing all that money is because it was a for-profit service that was up there. I was like, oh, I was like this close to getting scammed. For that. So some of those ads, I mean, at the top, they can be pretty deceptive.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be careful out there. I mean, there's so many traps, even for expert users. There's so many scams that are so easy to fall for. It's really scary.
Yeah, I was like, when you say consumers are getting more savvy, I think the scammers are getting more savvy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that.
All right, cool. Quick question. So now, so now we have all of those things in place. Is it a matter of just doing those things and then mechanically it works? Like, do I just say, hey, Mike, Ed, I need a website and SEO, and I give you guys a check and I set it up and it's done, and then I walk away. Thanks, guys. See you later. No more checks for you. And then I have SEO. I've achieved SEO. I graduated.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how it works.
I mean, the idea is that if you see good results, like why not keep putting money into it, right? If it's going to continue to amplify what you're getting back. But yeah, I mean, if you walk away from an SEO campaign after 3 to 6 months, you're going to have pretty good SEO for a while. But don't forget, there are going to be new competitors. There are going to be changes in the industry, and that could impact your SEO in terms of your search engine's results page rankings. But yeah, and so like SEO is more sustainable over time than like Google ads, like we talked about. Stop paying for Google ads, they go away and you don't get any more of those. But the SEO is considered, sustainable because it's going to last over time. Your website's still going to be upgraded from all the work you did on there. But yeah, I mean, if you're a business owner though, you should always be looking for the next best thing. What's the next thing I can do to dial it up even more and to continue to grow.
Yeah, super important. I just thought we have to bring that up because a lot of times when we look into sites and we may pick up a site from a client that it's already previously built, and they'll say, "Oh, I got SEO done on the site," and their approach is that SEO is done. They pay for SEO, and they're good to go for forever. And so when we touch the site, we have to remind them, first of all, that SEO is kind of an organic situation. So sometimes it stays, but most of the time it does not, just because of, just like you said, there's other competitors trying to achieve SEO, and they keep on trying new things to get on top of you, use different keywords, use different phrases, even use different tools. So like when you achieve SEO, let's say you were using Instagram or Facebook as part of your strategy to get your links popular, or even Twitter. Twitter was really popular in terms of getting your links out there. But now those platforms have less clout. There's other platforms like TikTok, for instance, and they have a new strategy to put all their links in TikTok, or have people click on links that go to other things to generate their SEO. And by doing that, inherently, you lose out to that competition because they're doing stuff actively and you're not.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's always evolving. Everything's going to continue to change over time, and you need to measure your success to make sure you're keeping up. But you mentioned like websites are constantly evolving over time, right? We're making changes to our website. We're doing different things with it. And you want to make sure all of the things that impact your SEO score are still working well over time. So like,
oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Mike. I tell you, a website is only good for about 3 years in its current form. Once it gets built and it's done, even if it's built optimally, it's only good for about 3 years. So you're gonna want to continue to add and evolve that site. Not only does the content get stale, but the technology gets stale. So think about some of those websites that have like some types of animation. Remember back in the day when you had the website with the banners that would flash at the top of the
yeah.
site, or some of the layouts were just unique to that particular era. Those, if you saw that site now, you'd be like, I can't go to this site. And it's the same thing if a site's out for a couple of years. You can tell right away from the design approach and from the technology that's built into the site, whether it's a newer or older site, without even being a web dev or web specialist.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, past 10 years, people are getting so savvy with technology that they pick up on these design elements or these different trends. And it really, I think like it's really important for a business owner to have a website that looks contemporary, it looks current, because that builds a lot of trust with their customers, right? Like, why would this technology company have a low-end website if they're supposed to be so good at, doing this stuff or doing something that's requires technical knowledge? Or even like a bank, let's say, or insurance company, like they have to look way above board for people to want to do business with them. So if they have like a low-end website, like there's not going to be that connection there. And so trust.
Right. I can't do online payment. What do you mean I can't do online payment? Your site's not secure. So you mean my money's not secure? Because
Yeah, exactly.
That's the fun process, though.
Yeah.
I remember when we were transitioning years ago to online payments. This got to be like 20 years ago, and some providers had online payments and access to pay your bills via e-checks or electronic transfer, and some didn't. And that was the decision between choosing one bank over another, that advanced technology on the back end. So I can imagine, from the website perspective.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. And so like, we were talking about content for SEO. So it's like, there's this term, I think it's different now. It's EEAT, but it's something like expertise, authority, and trustworthiness are part of high quality content. And, and you were talking about how those trends from back in the day, they just sort of scream now, like this is a scam, or this is low end, or this doesn't look very professional.
Scam, good word, yes.
Yeah. So like, and like, it's funny, like, because I've encountered, like, the clients I've worked with have had a huge range in like understanding, how technology works, and it makes it so I have to explain things differently to each one to get that connection there. But like, it's our job to make sure that things look above board and they look modern and professional if they're going to have to trust us with those decisions. But, I think that's a huge part of building websites, is to make sure that they're going to last a few years at least, and that we're gonna, basically say, in a few years we should think about a refresh and we should do something different because it's gonna start to look outdated.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. So we're getting close to the end. As we wrap this thing up, is there anything else that that those people out there in computer land should be thinking about in terms of SEO as it pertains to the website? It could even be for this part of the year. We're like in Q4 of this year. Is there anything they should be looking at for Q4 this year or Q1 of next year that could provide them some immense value?
Yeah, absolutely. So like we talked about local SEO and Google Business Profile. I think we talked about near me searches also. If someone types in, pizza near me or Halloween store near me. And so if you want to start to capture some of those users, you can create geo pages on your website. This would be if you have different locations or you serve different areas. And you want to create a page for each of these locations. You don't want to do one page with like a laundry list of all locations. That looks kind of spammy these days. But if you do the right keyword research and then you figure out where your audience is geographically, you can start to create these what are called geo pages for local SEO.
Geo being short for geography or geographic.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds good. Mike, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, sir. I think in terms of valuable content, you always have some great stuff to bring to the table. This is our first session in this format. I'm pretty sure we're going to do a couple more of these as we build our technical relationships and business relationship. And for those of you out there, we do monitor the questions. So if you have any questions, if you're watching this after the live stream, go ahead and drop it in the chat. You can either address it toward at Mike Grossman or at Edward Ferguson or at our respective businesses. And we'll get back to you either in a feed or directly. We're both on LinkedIn as well as many other social platforms, including Facebook and Instagram. All right, Mike, anything you want to say before we check out?
Thank you, Edward. This was so much fun. Great talking to you. You should do this again soon. Dig in the outfit. I hope you enjoy the rest of your
Yeah. I'm telling you, we had the same vision.
Awesome, man. Great talking to you.
All right, everybody. It's been real. It's been fun. See you all next video. And again, if you have any questions, check out Mike Grossman at Mike Grossman Consulting. I believe it's MGC Consulting. What is it? Do I have the URL correct?
Yeah, MikeGrossmanConsulting.com.
You can Google it. It'll show up at the top of the search, or you can check us out at thewebpagesite.com. All right, guys. Have a wonderful and amazing day. Till next time.